We're talking about movies and video games now too. What's going on here? Alright, so God of War Ragnarok was released in November 2022 by Santa Monica Studios, who also did the 2018 kind of half reboot God of War. And so my history with God of War, I didn't know like really anything about the franchise. I didn't play the first 3 games, and I hadn't played the 2018 version until I heard it getting really good reviews. This is probably like a year after it came out. So I decided to get it for like 10, 15 bucks on eBay, try to play it. And I gave up on it very quickly. It was very like puzzle based and like get the armor, upgrade your armor and all that stuff. It just wasn't my thing, so I bailed on it really quickly. Well, then fast forward to November of 2022, God of War Ragnarok comes out and it gets great reviews as well. Like some of the best video game reviews I've ever heard. So I said, okay, I want to play the new one, but I want to get the story right. So I'm going to play 2018's version first. And I was so wrong to give up on it so quickly. That game is awesome. It is a great story of just small scale, a father and a son going to spread their mother's ashes. So then you get to God of War 2022, God of War Ragnarok, and it is all the same character stuff from the first game, all the same great just dynamics and everything, taken to an epic scale of just like great proportions. You go from this small family story to this just story that covers all the 9 realms and everything, and it just takes it to just a one-up epic scale. And the strength of this game really lies in the characters. There's so many family dynamics going on in this game, whether you have the father-son dynamic of Kratos and Atreus, then you got the father-son dynamic of Odin and Thor in there as well. You got the brother dynamic of Brock and Sindri. You throw Freya in there, who has ties to both sides. And that is really where the strength of this game lies, is just the family ties that all these characters have to each other. And, you know, the game really had an uphill battle when it comes to the Norse mythology characters, because I feel like a lot of the people who've been watching the Marvel movies over the years have this idea in their head of what Thor is and what Odin is and what Loki is. And this game gives such a fresh, just kind of like revamp as to what those characters are and can be. They all have just great motivations and different just character goals that they each have. And you take someone like Thor, who in the movies is Chris Hemsworth and is just is a good guy, and you take him and you have this totally different look at him in this game, where he's not necessarily a good guy. He's not this super in shape dude. He's a drunk. He does whatever his dad tells him to do. And really, he's just a flawed character. Same thing with Odin. In the Marvel movies, Odin is a good guy. But when you come to this, Odin is the worst guy imaginable, basically. And I thought that was another strength of the game, where it got to Odin, where basically the first game, all they do is talk about how terrible Odin is and how he's the worst person ever. But then you get into this game and you start hanging out with him and you start talking to him, and you like, maybe he was blown out of proportion. He doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. And that, like, the way that they were able to kind of hide his intentions and kind of his goals in the game was just really brilliant as he's talking to Atreus, and you're like, well, I don't know, maybe it's kind of misled, like he's not that bad of a guy, it seems. And it's really interesting because Odin and Kratos both have the same goal, which is to avoid war, but every single action that they take pushes them closer and closer to war with each other. And Kratos says the entire game, I'm not trying to go to war with all these people and kill them all, but every single move that he makes to counter Odin is pushing them in that direction. And it's just a really interesting kind of story that they wove together with all the characters and how they interact with each other. And now I am coming at this as a little more of a story perspective. I'm not the biggest gameplay guy. I am kind of a basic gamer. I put it on normal and I hope I have fun. But so I thought the mechanics of the fighting were pretty good. It's kind of easy to learn. It is a little button mashy at times, where it's just like hit the enemy over and over. But when they have the bigger enemies you have to fight, it is a little bit more like figure out their patterns and learn how to block it, and don't just run at them and hit attack all the time. So I thought the gameplay was pretty good. It gives you a good variety of bosses to fight. Some of them are easier than others. Some of them are harder. I will say the 2 I found extremely difficult were the Berserker King and the Valkyrie Queen. Were both incredibly difficult and took me multiple tries to do. I think I tried like 2 hours to beat this stupid Valkyrie Queen, and I finally did it like barely. So that was probably the toughest fight in the entire game. A lot of like the storyline fights are not that hard. You can play through them with pretty much ease, which I get they probably want you to do the story. Some of the side quest stuff is a little harder. But yeah, so mechanics wise, I thought the game was very good. And I think like for basic gamers, or you could put it on Give Me God of War, which like I don't even want to think about how hard that would be. But so if you're really into like putting it on the hardest difficulty, I think you'll have fun. If you like putting it on normal difficulty, I think you'll enjoy the story well and you'll be challenged as well. I also like that the game lets you play as Atreus, and I think it's the first time in any of the God of War games they let you play as someone that's not Kratos. I thought they went back to it one too many times. When you were on the Jotunheim planet and you were riding on a yak, I was kind of like, okay, let's get back to Kratos here. But I like the change of pace. It is a different play style with the bow and arrow. So I thought that was fun to do. I just thought that they went back to it like one too many times. So would I recommend God of War Ragnarok? Yes, I thought it was a great game. I thought it was fantastic. It's a great story. I think you'll have fun playing it. The game is $70. Would I recommend you paying $70 for it? I would say yes, but it's solely just because the game is so good. I think games have gotten outrageous with how much they cost. $70 for a basic game. Then you get into like these like deluxe editions where they just give you like a few extra things. They're charging you $80 or $90. That's ridiculous. I know that like the new gaming consoles have come out, but they got to get the games back down to like 50, 60 bucks. That's way too much. I do think the game is worth it. You'll have fun. The game took me like, what, 25, 30 hours to beat. So let's say if you do all the side quests and stuff, like I think that you will enjoy your time playing it. It's worth $70, but that is a little expensive, I understand. So that's my review of God of War Ragnarok. Did you play the game? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of the game, and thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you like and subscribe to the channel, help us grow, and I'll be back soon with another review.